What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna get started on prepping the engine bay for paint. I got everything set up. Now it's time for the annoying part, stripping the engine bay and getting it ready for paint. It doesn't look like too much, but like I literally have to strip everything from the bay. I have to take off the headlights, I have to take off both front fenders. There's gonna be something that don't take off, like the brake booster. I'm not gonna take that off, I don't want to mess with that. But yeah, basically I have to try and take off as much as possible, and then I have to clean and degrease the engine bay, and then I have to sand it and then clean it again, and then it should be ready for paint. This is gonna be a lot of tedious work. The plan is to try and get everything ready for paint by the end of today so that tomorrow I can start painting. But I don't know, we'll see what happens. The hard part is already done, getting the motor and the transmission out the car. So should be the easy part now. The easy part. Let's get started. I'm gonna explain like the small steps that I'm gonna take, but for the most part it's probably gonna be a time lapse because it's just pretty easy. You just go through your car and just take out everything, literally. For example, right now, I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna start, to be honest. I think I'm gonna start by taking off like all the simple shit. Like the distributor, whatever this is called. Take off this, the power steering pump. I'm gonna try and get these wire harnesses out. So yeah, I'm gonna just go around the edges, try and take off as much as possible, and then after that I'm gonna try and take out the headlights and the fenders. I don't know if I'm gonna have to take these off first to take out the harness, but we'll figure it out in a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna just take off the front fenders and the headlights, because to take out the wiring harness, it like passes through the headlight component right here. You see this grommet right here, so I gotta take all this shit off anyway, so I might as well just take off the headlights and the fenders right now. I got both front fenders off, I got both headlights off. Literally the whole front of the car is like completely stripped. And I never knew this, but I have Ultra Racing, I think these are called fender bars, 3-point fender bars. I have some on both sides, so that's good to know. The entire car is stripped, so now I should be able to get these wiring harnesses out of the front and then keep working on the inside and just strip it as much as possible. Little update, I'm trying to get this wiring harness. So the first thought in my head was I had to pull this wiring harness from this grommet right here and pull it out of the car and feed it through here so that then I can get the whole wiring harness out of here. But the connection for that harness is all the way in the back of the dash. Instead of feeding it out from this end, I need to feed everything out from this side. I thought I couldn't because of this fuse box. I have to basically tear this apart to be able to fit it through this hole. So I'm gonna try that and try and feed everything out to the side. That means that when I'm painting the engine bay, I'm gonna have this whole wiring harness just hanging to the side right here while I'm painting. I mean, it's not the ideal way to do it, but it's the easiest way to do it, so I guess I'm gonna have to go with that. I'm gonna try that and see how it works. It's times like these where I really hate this car. Check this out. This entire wiring harness goes around the front end of the car, but it passes through the inside of the car as well, so I need to get rid of that to be able to paint the bay well. The plan was to try and take it all out and feed it out through this hole and just have it sitting right here while I paint the rest of the bay. But I had to get the wiring harness out from here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's this grommet that leads into the car, so I had to get the wiring harness from there. And look at this fucking mess I made. I had to take out the ECU, I had to take out, I don't even know what the fuck this box is. but it was all the way up there in the corner. I had to remove this to be able to remove this to then be able to reach this. And then this tiny box in the back as well too. I don't know what this is for. But that wiring harness that I'm trying to take out right now connects to these two boxes. So I have to take out the ECU to be able to reach them. The connections were so fucking hard to take off. This for the ECU. These connections right here, these 1, 2, and then that white one right there are what connected to those two boxes. So now that these are loose, this should be able to come out. There we go. The whole wiring harness is out. So now I'm gonna just keep feeding the harness out this way, out through that hole. This is why I hate working on 30-year-old cars when it comes to wiring. There was no way this is coming out without breaking it. I don't even know what this is for. This is like a fucking horn or something. I'm not sure. Hopefully it's not important because I just broke the shit out of it. Look at the wire. It probably didn't even work, to be honest. But basically every connection on the car is like this. That's why it's so fucking annoying. For this wiring harness, the one that like connects to the fuel injectors and shit, it goes in through here, and to disconnect this, you need to go on the inside of the car and disconnect the ECU, and then there's one other connection on top of it. See, here's the ECU, keep pulling, and then there's this one that connects into something above the glove box. I got one of the first wiring harnesses out of the car. I think this is the ECU harness because it connects to the ECU. It has like the fuel injector connections on it. That shit was a bitch to take out. All right, that one's out. Now I think it's just this long ass one that comes out right here. I'm making some progress. I already got this wiring harness like halfway out. It's all out of there. This little piece is the only thing that's left. So I need to take out this fuse box. So I just numbered the relay and I got them on video. So now I'm gonna take them out and I just wanna make sure I put them back in the same way. You gotta take the relays out so that then the fuse box will fit through this hole right here. I finally got the fuse box outside of the car. Bro, this shit was such a bitch. Even like this, that shit barely fits through here. And it has this little piece of wire right here, so it'll fit. You just gotta keep fucking with it, man. Damn, I can't wait to get all the fucking wiring out this car. I'm probably not even gonna put this wiring back in it. I'll probably just get a wiring specialties harness because I heard those are way simpler and way easier to put in. I got this fuse box almost out, so I went and numbered this one as well. Got it on video, so I'm gonna take this one apart and try and fit it through the hole. I finally got the fuse box to fit through that tiny ass hole. It barely fit, so I just have this harness just sitting here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really want to try and disconnect it from over there just so I could take it all out, but I heard it's a bitch to disconnect it, so. Cause low-key, I don't even want to use all this if I don't have to. Like, I want to get a wiring specialties harness, but I'm not sure, man. But that shit does not look like I need all of that. I'm gonna just tidy it up and leave it sitting in the corner for now. I'm gonna get started on taking off the rest of the stuff that I can, like the clutch cable, some fuel lines, whatever this is, just random stuff. I'm gonna try and clean it up a bit. I might be able to start scrubbing and sanding today. I found out what this is. This is the windshield motor. When I moved it, this is moving, so take this out. I'm gonna just take out this bolt back here so that I can paint this corner of the engine bay really good. I'm gonna take out that windshield motor. I think that's gonna be it for today. I'm over it. This wiring harness beat my ass, bro. This shit was so hard to take out. There's like a few things left before the bay is like ready to get prepped. There's not much though. I want to try and remove this hood latch cable. Should be pretty easy, but I don't want to tackle that today because that could easily turn into like an hour thing. So I'm gonna take that off tomorrow, try and remove that wire to try and paint this a little bit better. And there's just a bunch of small shit. I think that's honestly it, to be honest. Those two things in the corner. I'm gonna try and take out that windshield motor right now. I don't know what else is left. I can't really see much. I gotta cap some hoses. Tomorrow, I'm gonna start wire brushing the whole thing and degreasing it and then washing it down with the pressure washer. Once it's all nice and clean, that's when I'm gonna start sanding everything and give it another clean. Then it'll be finally ready for paint. I'm gonna just finish that. I'm gonna start cleaning up and then I'll pick up the camera tomorrow when I finish the rest of the things. I don't wanna be here once it gets dark. I'll see you guys in the morning. We back. I got all the tools that I'm gonna need for the rest of today. I got my normal stuff, and Jose let me borrow his power washer, so shout out Jose. I appreciate it. The game plan for today is to deep clean this engine bay before I start sanding it. There's a few things left in the bay that I need to take out, like that throttle body cable. Honestly, I think I'm gonna just leave that. I'm gonna see what I can take out right there in the corner. I gotta cap some things off, like that power steering line. I gotta like put some tape and a paper bag over that so none of the water gets in there when I power wash it. I need to close off those holes because those lead straight into the cabin of the car. I'm gonna just get started on covering all that and taking off as much as I can. I'll check in with you guys after I'm done with all that. I capped everything off with just some tape, just so that the water doesn't get inside of these lines. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I need to cap these off probably put some tape from the inside just so that the water doesn't get inside the cabin. After I cap those over there, I'm gonna just wet the whole thing with the power washer, give it a nice little rinse, let the water sit for like a minute, and then I'm gonna just spray some purple power degreaser over the entire thing. Let it sit for like 2 minutes so that the degreaser breaks everything down, and then I'm gonna start going in there with the wire brush and trying to loosen up all the dirt. I capped off these areas, no water's gonna be able to get into the cabin anymore. And then I also went under the car. I put a bag over my drive shaft just so that when I'm spraying water through the engine bay, it doesn't get the drive shaft at the bottom wet. Now the very last step is I need to raise these wires off the ground just so that the runoff water doesn't get these wet, and just make sure that you don't have anything around that you don't want to get wet. And here's the degreaser that I'm gonna be using. I've had this for a minute. You need to clean this engine bay like 3 times at least to get everything out. I think it's ready for the first rinse. The engine is all rinsed. Now it's time for the degreaser. After you spray the degreaser, let it sit for like 2-3 minutes just so that it breaks up all the dirt. After that, you could go in there and just start wire brushing everything. Everything's all nice and scrubbed. I went through almost everything with the wire wheel. I didn't really have to hit this type of area with the wire wheel because there's no like gunk on there. It's time to hit it with some actual pressure and then some more degreaser, and then just repeat the process until there's no more gunk inside the engine bay. Shout out TJ Hunt, I got this idea from him, but I power washed this side of the bay just once and I haven't even touched this side. And you could already kind of start seeing a difference, like this half is power washed, this half hasn't been. Especially on these bars, compared to this side. I'm already seeing a difference. All right, I'm gonna keep going ahead and I'm gonna just pressure wash the whole thing and check back in with you guys after. First power wash is complete. It's already starting to look a lot better. All of the dirt and grime that was on this rail came off. So I think I'm gonna just honestly degrease it one more time, wire brush everything, and then this time hit it with some rags. I think it's ready to start sanding. I ran out of engine degreaser, so I'm about to use this typical AutoZone degreaser. Hopefully this works. Time for the last power wash. I'm almost done. I just want to try and clean that little corner and that little corner a little bit more. But I ran out of degreaser. My dad's going to bring me some more degreaser right now. It's 4 p.m. The sun sets in 40 minutes. So when he comes back, I'm gonna just degrease the engine one last time and pressure wash it, but I'm not gonna start sanding it today. Tomorrow morning, it should be all dry. It should be ready for me to sand it. And then after the sanding, I gotta mask off everything and then it should be ready for paint. I'll see you guys in the morning then. It's the next day. I don't know what the fuck I recorded, but today all the annoying shit is what's left on the car. Yesterday I just degreased and power washed the whole engine bay. Edgar's working on fucking up my car. I'm gonna start actually sanding the bay. So I'm gonna just go through it with 220 and then 320, and then I have some 400 back here. So I gotta go through the whole bay a couple times. I'm gonna sand it down, degrease it, power wash it, and then just keep repeating the process with the next grit. And yeah, that should be it. You need to make sure you get every single piece of rust out of here, because literally you can leave like a little tiny area, and once you paint over it, the rust will spread and it will just fuck everything up all over again. The hardest part is trying to sand down these like corners right here. You need to literally get like down in there. Like, it doesn't even look possible, but you need to literally leave this engine bay spotless before you fucking paint it. So to get into all the corners, I bought some scotch brite, cut it up into small pieces, and you're gonna use those little pieces to breach into all the little nooks and crannies. It's gonna be a bitch, but you literally need to do this, because if you don't prep your engine bay right and you paint it, it's gonna look like shit in like a week. I'm gonna just time lapse the entire thing. It's really simple. Just sand, wash like fucking 5 times, and make sure you get every single nook and cranny in the engine bay. Little update, I got this whole area right here sanded down. I just hit it with the 220. It looks better. I'm trying to leave as little bare metal as possible, because this car is probably gonna be sitting overnight for a couple of days. I don't want this to rust with like the moisture in the air. But change of plans right now, I'm actually trying to take out this battery tray, because I want to sand everything underneath it, and I don't think I'm gonna use it again, because I'm gonna relocate the battery to the trunk. To take this out, I just use the wire wheel to expose all the spot welds. Like, there's one right there, another one right there, those 2 right there. So I'm gonna just try and literally I'm gonna drill out the spot welds and just get a crowbar and just try and pry everything out. I just wanted to get this battery tray out of here. Check it out, check it out, check it out. This shit was a bitch to take out. Look at all these spot welds this bitch had. All we were doing was just drilling through here, and then just get the drill bit and move it around unless you have a big enough drill bit, and then just literally, we pried the whole thing apart with this one big ass flathead. And then I was able to push it back, and now the only thing holding it in are these welds right here. You can see those welds along that line. So now literally all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just keep bending this back and forth till it breaks with the heat. There you go. That's it. Now I could really sand down in there and paint that as well. If I want to put the battery back here, all I gotta do is just buy a battery bracket and this should hold it fine. All right, check it out. I got the battery tray removed, and this shit had a lot of rust here before. I don't know if I showed it. But basically all the rust spots, you want to hit it with the wire wheel and expose it down to bare metal. And then after you do that, you want to sand it down so that it's ready for paint. This is a little bit of rust. I took off all the big pieces, but I don't know if you guys can tell, there's a little bit of rust right there. And even that could fuck up your paint, so. You can bring it down to bare metal with the wire wheel. Now there's no more rust. And now you hit it with a little bit of 220. And there it's ready for paint. So I'm gonna just keep going through the entire engine bay and hitting everything with 220. If I find any spots that have a little bit of rust, I'm gonna hit it with the wire wheel to bring it back down to metal. And then with the sandpaper again. So the plan for today is to sand as much as possible. The sun sets in like an hour, so like an hour and a half. The thing is, if there's no rust, for example, I look right here, all you have to do is basically just scuff it up a bit. So get some 220. And then this area right here is basically ready for some paint. When there's no rust, it's really easy. It takes like a minute, honestly, to sand everything down. But when there is rust, you gotta hit it with the wire wheel and then the sandpaper, so that's the bitch. Luckily, the engine bay doesn't have that much rust. It has a little bit right here on this headlight bracket. This is the biggest area with the rust. So right under the brake booster, it looks like some brake fluid or something fell. So there's a bunch of rust right here and down this support beam. So I'm gonna have to wire wheel all of that and sand it down. But other than that, everything else is just like hit it with a little bit of 220 and it should be ready. Throughout the week, when I get off work, I'm gonna come and just keep repeating the process until it's sanded. The goal is to have it painted by next weekend. Let me show you guys what I have so far. So this is how the car looked like before, and this is how this side looks right now. I took out a lot of the rust right here all of the rust actually. So now I'm like working on this backside, and it's really hard trying to get like behind this. Like I really want to try and sand it as best as possible. Edgar left already, so it's just me. The sun sets in like 30 minutes, so I'm gonna just try and keep doing as much as I can do. As soon as the sun starts setting though, I'm gonna pack everything up and I'll just keep continuing working on it after work throughout the week. The plan is to finish it throughout this week and then be able to start laying down the primer on Saturday. The labor isn't that bad, it's just really hard trying to get into all the nooks and crannies. It's just really, what's the word? Time. It takes a lot of time, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so I'm gonna just keep fucking working on this throughout the week, and then I'll give you guys periodic check-ins, but this is the boring part, just basically sanding everything. It'll all be worth it in the end, hopefully. I'll see you guys later. I don't know how long it's gonna be. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna just keep working on it, and hopefully I finish that as soon as possible. I'll see you guys later. We out here. I got you guys on the GoPro today. I was too lazy to bring my camera. I think this is 2 days after the last time I recorded. Check it out. Yesterday was foggy as shit, and everything I sanded is already starting to rust up again. I literally cannot catch a break with this car. I already got most of this side done with the 220. I still need 320 and then 400. I haven't even touched this side or the back or the bottom rails or the front of it. I need all this left, and I only have like 1 hour of sunlight after each day when I get home from work. I have my light ready. I'm gonna just set up my light and I'm gonna just keep sanding this, even though I know it's gonna rust the next day. The final day before I paint, I'm gonna just have to hit everything with 400 to get all the surface rust off, and hopefully then it'll be ready for paint. Check it out. All right, so I haven't touched the car since the last clip you guys saw. I think it's been like a whole week. I haven't had time after work to progress on the car. Last time that I sanded the car, I sanded it and all the exposed metal started rusting the next day. I mean, I didn't cover it and it was like hella foggy the day after, so that's probably why. So I covered it. I haven't looked under. I'm praying to God that all the exposed metal didn't rust again. I don't know. I'm gonna find out right now. So far so good. It looks pretty good. For example, this is everything I left last week. You can see a lot of the metal still not rusted. There's a few spots. I'm not sure if that happened over the weekend, but I was expecting a lot worse, so this is pretty good. As of right now, I have basically everything on this side done. I have the top of this whole front beam done. I still need to get like in the back corner, like right here, you see there's a bit of rust. I need to hit this with the wire brush. I still need all of this. This looks like it was done a little bit, but Edgar did it. He just did a little patch right here. But I still basically need everything on the inside right here, and then I still need that whole back wall. It looks like a lot, but honestly isn't. I'm also probably gonna sand this front crash bar and paint it as well. Fuck it, I'm already doing it, might as well. So as you can see right here, I have really bad rust. So this is on the brake booster. Honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, to be honest. I low-key want to replace it. This type of rust could probably come off with like just regular sandpaper because it looks like it's just surface rust. But everything right here, I'm probably gonna have to hit with the wire wheel. I don't know how I'm gonna get behind these hard lines. I already hit this area a little bit with the wire wheel, needs a little bit more. Any area with rust, I'm gonna just hit with the wire brush or wire wheel and then just finish it off with some sandpaper to really get all the rust out. I'm probably gonna sand a little bit under here as well. That's the plan for today. Let me get started.
6 hours later.
Let me show you guys what I did because I'm about to start cleaning up. The sun's gonna set in like 30 minutes. I finished up and sanded like everything around these corners, everything up here. This entire side of the car is done. All these little nooks and crannies in here. I didn't go too deep under here because I'm gonna end up, how do you say it, underspraying, like truck bed liner kind of. I think that's what it's called. I'm gonna underspray this entire wheel fender on both sides later. But yeah, all this is sanded. I wanted to take this off to really sand like inside here, but to take this bar off, you have to take off the door. because it bolts right into the hinges of the door. I also took off this top cowl right here. This is in way better condition than the rest of the engine bay, so this should just be good with one pass of sandpaper. Everything here on this like strut tower area is pretty good. It's basically done. Everything in here is basically done. I still need this back wall right here, all that, and the underside of all this, and this wall right here. Right now I'm debating if I should take off the brake master cylinder as well with the brake booster, because as you can see, this one's like really rusted, so I don't even want to try and repair this in here. Honestly, I think I just want to take everything out and replace everything with a brand new one. Honestly, next time you guys see me, I'm probably going to be taking this off and replacing it with a new one. I'm probably also going to be changing the master to a Z32 master cylinder, because I eventually want to get Z32 brakes on the car. So, and on the back of the car I haven't even started, so I still need to sand all this entire back wall. It's pretty flat though, it should be pretty easy. It doesn't look like it has too much rust. There's a bit right here. After that wall, all that's left is just this beam right here, that one, and right here. Honestly, I might not even sand these, to be honest. I might just scotch brite them and that's it. And I'm really debating if I want to get different brake lines. Since I'm gonna disconnect these brake lines and the whole system has to be bled, I'm kind of debating if I should just upgrade and get like steel braided lines. But I don't know. By the time you guys see the next clip, I should have decided on what I'm gonna do. And then after all that's done, the final thing is like these pieces right here, the back of this, and the crash bar maybe. This is probably gonna be a long ass video. It's been like 2 weeks of footage, I think. I'm gonna try and edit it down as good as possible for you guys. Oh, real quick, one last thing I forgot to. The plan was to sand the entire engine bay and all its components with 220 sandpaper, then 320, and then 400 grit. But my friend Tito, he has a homie, he painted his engine bay as well, and all he did was he just hit, he didn't even sand the metal of the car. I mean, his was in as bad condition as mine, I bet, but he just hit everything with a bunch of scotch brite, and then he just laid primer straight onto it, and then he sanded the primer with 220, 320, and 400. So honestly, what I think I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna just hit everything with 220, clean it really good, and then I think I'm gonna just lay primer over everything. And then once the primer's down, then I'm gonna skip the 220 and I'm gonna hit it with 320 and 400. Most likely that's what I'm gonna do. All right, I need to get out of here. It's fucking cold. It's about to get dark. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Later. It's like 2 weeks since the last time you guys saw this car. Well, for you guys it's been a minute. For me it's been like 2 weeks, I think. I haven't done shit to the car. I haven't had time. By the time I get home, it's like 30 minutes and it gets dark. So today it's already 1:15, so I still, it's not 2. Oh yeah, it is 2. Fuck. So yeah, I have like an hour or 2 till the sun sets. I already basically explained everything in the last clip, but I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna do today. Hopefully the plan is by the end of today, before it gets dark, to lay the first coat of primer at least, so I don't have to worry about it rusting overnight. I'm here with Edgar too, by the way. All right, I haven't looked at this in like 2 weeks. I don't know how bad it's rusted, because I know it's gonna rust. It rained, what, it rained like twice, huh, since the last time. It's rained like twice, so I don't know if like the humidity went up under the car or something. So hopefully it's not too rusted, but let's pull this off and see how it looks. Thankfully it doesn't look that bad. I just need basically behind this area, everything on the back of this, the back of the firewall. Right now me and Edgar are gonna try and figure out, we've never done this before, we don't know what the fuck to do. We're gonna try and get out the brake master cylinder, and then the brake booster, and the clutch master cylinder. I'll update you guys and let you know how we take it out. I think I figured out how to take this off. I'm not sure yet, but I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see, but I'm gonna try and show how we think that we could take it off. So when you go under, oh fuck. All right, so here's the brake pedal right here, and you gotta follow the assembly. And right here where my finger is, you can start to see it, there's 2 bolts, 1, 2, and there's another one right here. You can see right there, right where my finger is, there's another 2, 1, 2. So it's just 4 bolts. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a brake pedal like assembly. Like once you take out these 4 bolts, the whole brake pedal will be able to come loose. Right where my finger is, right there, I think that's the pin that has to come out. So I need to pull this pin out. So taking out those 4 bolts, and then that pin right here will take off this rod, and then the whole brake booster should be able to come off. Shout out Edgar, because if it wasn't for him, I would not be able to take out this brake booster right now. Right now we'll explain what we did with the bottom, but we should be able to pull this bitch out now. Yes sir. Yes sir. This shit was such a bitch to remove. I'm gonna have Edgar help explain what he did, because he was the one that was under the car to get this out. This fork right here attaches to the brake pedal. This fork has a pin that goes through it, and it has a cotter pin on this side. You just slide this pin into it right here, push down, and that's it. And now this pin will not fall off until you take off this cotter pin. But for some reason, this pin has a little plastic cap right here. Even with the cotter pin out, it wouldn't come off because of a little plastic clip. You would try and push it out, it wouldn't come out. So what Edgar did, how'd you break it?
My hand.
You just kept breaking and moving it?
Twisted.
So Edgar said he just reached in there with his hand and he just kept moving around the plastic tip and broke it off. After removing that plastic tip, it came off like a normal pin. I don't know why Nissan adds that plastic tip on there. That's fucking stupid. I'm gonna go buy a new one. That one's all rusted. But yeah, the brake booster's out. Now the last thing to take out is this clutch master cylinder. I already did a video on how to remove this. Oh yeah, Edgar used this mirror right here. That's the only reason we were able to see the pin, huh? So we went under and we used that mirror to see the back of the pin, because there's literally no room under the fucking car to see. This shit's really simple. I'm not gonna explain how to do it because I already did another video. If you wanna see how to take it off, check out this video right here. I'm gonna remove this clutch master and then everything is just sanding for the rest of the day. Another thing I found out is that little hole that you see right there with the sunlight coming through, whenever I was pressure washing the car, there was water falling in there and it wet up my entire carpet on the inside. It's just all rusted, so that was gonna have to go either way. I'm gonna start working on taking off all the surface rust with the little wire wheel, and Edgar is retaping up all the holes. All right, really quick update. I tried to get some of the rust out of right here. I got a lot of it out. I just need the corners, but my wire wheel doesn't fit into the corner, so I'm probably gonna need to go get a new wire wheel attachment to really be able to get into the corners. It's looking pretty good. I got some of the rust out right here too, but that's not the main focus that we're doing right now. So right now we decided that we're gonna just fucking take off all these brake lines. You just gotta follow them back to where they go and just remove them. This one for the clutch master just goes to the slave cylinder, so that one's easy. Chill. Ooh, put that bitch down. And then these are all for the brake lines. Two of these hard brake lines attached to, one attaches to the driver's side caliper and then the other one attaches to the passenger side caliper. I already got this side out. I'm gonna show you guys how I got it out. But there's these rubber grommets right here. You pull this rubber grommet off, and if you look inside, I don't know if you guys can see, but the nut's right there. So there's this hard line right here, this hard line right here, and then the hard line for the e-brake, and that one is right here. I already disconnected it, and that used to attach to this little block that's going to be on your car right there. Let me show you guys how I took this hard line out. If you go into the car right here, you'll see that little hole is where the grommet was. I already took the side out, but this was sitting right there, and you just got to loosen that nut and the whole assembly will come out. With that assembly out, you should just be able to pull this out. Here you go. Now just repeat the same thing on that side, and now all the brake lines should be able to come off after that. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna try and find the replacement. I want to get these steel braided replacements because I don't want these hard lines in the car, to be honest. I'd rather have them all steel braided. Look at how much easier it looks now without those fucking hard lines in it. Edgar's gonna get started on removing this bracket right here. All it is that bolt, and then this last brake line should come off with the clutch master. There. Alright, there we go. All the hard lines are out of the car already. I should have just done that from the beginning. This just looks so much easier to work on now. That's gonna be basically it. I'm gonna just clean up like all the brake fluid and stuff that dropped out of the hard lines. I'm gonna clean that up, and then I'm gonna just start. Damn, we look a fucking mess. We're gonna clean everything up and put the cover back onto this, and hopefully it doesn't rust up from now to the next time that I touch it. This video is gonna be so long. It's gonna be like what, like 2-3 weeks of footage. It's just hard working on this car. Like, I have work, I have my brand, I have so much other shit that I'm trying to do at the same time. It's just hard to find time to do this, but I need to get this car out of here. I need to get it running. All right, I think that's gonna be it for today's video. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks of footage that you guys have seen so far up to this point. And if I just keep it going until the engine bay is fully painted, it's gonna be way too long of a video. I'm gonna just end the video here for today. By the end of the next video, the engine bay should be fully painted already, the next color. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know when the next video is gonna come out, probably like a week or 2 weeks at the most. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys next time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Shout out Edgar for helping me. And if you watched this far, comment. What should they comment? Alright, whatever. I forgot what the last thing I recorded was. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. By the end of the next video, the entire engine bay should be like fully painted. Should be fully painted. See you guys soon. Hopefully this shit gets done quick. Later.